Starring Zachary Fetterman as John D. Rockefeller, Julia Arancio as Ida B. Tarbell, Abby Ragland as Judge Abby, Robert Nava as Eugene, and Aidan Levy as Some Minor. We present to you Oil Recoil.
We are here today to engage in discussion of the Standard Oil Company. It is time that we as a people take into consideration the Sherman Trust Act, which the company may be in violation of. We will first hear out John D. Rockefeller in his defense of the company. John D. Rockefeller, the owner of Standard Oil.
That's me.
Can you tell us about your story?
Okay. Well, ever since I was a little child, I had been really good at financing and dealing with money. I would give some money to a person, then get a lot more money back with my little trickses and, that kind of stuff. So when the war started, I saw great promise in the produce industry. So I took the sums of money that I had and invested it in the produce industry. And when the war ended, I had huge sums of money that I gained. Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
What did you do with that money?
Well, I could pretty much do whatever I want, but, I decided to invest it in the oil company. I saw great promise in the oil company because some, hillbilly had just found, a bunch of oil in some weird-ass state, You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so, I invested it, and I started a company, and, being a creative fellow, I decided to name my company, it's pretty standard, so, Standard Oil Company. I mean, to this day, I'm pretty proud of that name. I mean, it's pretty good, catchy, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so, and Standard Oil Company kept growing and growing faster and faster and faster and faster. We started taking over other companies, buying them out, like, some, little company that, we just bought their entire company and got all the oil by ourselves, and actually at the end, like right now, we own 98% of all oil in the entire nation, so it's pretty good. And as we got stronger and stronger, we started buying out other companies too, like railroad companies, to be able to control the railroads, and being able to ship our oil without having to pay anybody else. And we were like a, say the world is this rug, right? We were a big vacuum cleaner. We're like, just sucking up all of everything. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Ms. Tarbell, can you tell us about yourself?
Well, I was born in Erie County, Pennsylvania, among the oil fields, and my father was an oil refiner too. And in 1872, John D. Rockefeller came and bought out my father's oil refinery, and he bought out everyone's oil refinery in an oil town. He bought out 95% of the oil refineries and left our town with no jobs, with no money. He didn't care. He doesn't care about the people, nor did he then.
How do you feel about John D. Rockefeller doing so well in his business?
Well, I just think it's completely un-American. I mean, America was based on this idea that, people were going to work hard and they're going to work independently in small businesses, and that's the American dream. Doing something for yourself and working hard and trying your best. And Rockefeller's not doing that. Rockefeller's making lots of money. I can tell you that, yes, he is. But he's not doing it in any nice way. He's not doing it in any just smart way, in any fair way. I mean, he's just cheating people out of their money, treating people poorly, and that's not a way to live. That's never a way to live. And that's how he's running this country. And people worship him. You know why? Because he just says that it's fine, because it's business. It's business, it's okay, it's not real life. But the thing is, it is real life. Because his business is controlling America. And his business is what is defining America. I mean, him, and it's not just him, but he's the main rich person in America. He's so high, and he just set up the whole system so that he can make more and more money. And the way he set up the system is that as he makes more money, everyone else makes less money. And so he's just bringing himself up and pushing the rest of the country down. Millions of people, including me, including you, including my family, your family, and Rockefeller's here, and he's just going to benefit from it. And no matter how much philanthropy he does, no matter how much he says he cares about this country, the way that he set up this system and the way that he's controlling everyone never shows care for anything.
The end. Accusations made by Mr. Krabs against John D. Rockefeller.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here. But I go by Eugene now.
How has John D. Rockefeller affected your company?
Well, when I was very young, I started my company, and I grew and grew until Standard Oil became, and they were buying out their competitors and railroads, and all the other companies started to fall down. And then he came to me and gave me a very terrible offer, but there was no other choice. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Mr. Krabs. Mr. Krabs, please finish your statement.
Yes, please sit back down.
Eugene, please. Okay, so where was I? Ah, yes. Okay, so he offered me a little bit of money, but it was the best offer I was going to get, so I had to take it. And now, I'm nothing.
Well then.
Down with the government! All you people! This whole shebang
Security!
is super bad! Super bad! I'm an anarchist, and I say, you are the worst person, worse than John D. Rockefeller, much, much worse than Ida B. Tardo.
Security!
Because you are enforcing
Security!
this.
Security!
Why do we need these rights? We can do whatever we want!
Security!
Continue with your statement, Mr. Krabs. I'm sorry about that.
So yeah, now he owns my company.
And how did that make you feel?
I'm sorry.
Well, I guess we should move on to our next witness, because I don't think he's...
I'm back. No, I'm okay.
You can come back.
Okay.
I'm okay.
Can
I'm
you finish
okay.
your statement, Mr. Krabs?
He offered me money. I had to take it. No.
No to what?
You.
Minor, can you tell us your experiences working for Standard Oil?
Oh yes, I can. I was one of them such and such unfortunate exposed to the Ludlow strike. I was one day in April 1914. The anger of us miners have been growing and growing and growing and
Yes,
growing.
we get the point. Move on.
Growing and growing.
Move on.
Alrighty, Missy. Anyways, it was one day in 1914. The anger of us miners have been growing and growing and growing.
Shut up, you
growing and growing and growing and growing and growing
Shut up!
and growing. Well, I don't like your attitude. So again, we have been pretty damn angered at Mr. Rockefeller up there and the rich people where they live up in the mountain of the godly places. And he had been forcing us to do so much work, and the time he had never ever let up. Our miners' union organized up a big strike, which was a strike. Our miners' union organized a big up strike to give our guards a big whooping. Sad day for us miners. We got 24 of us killed. We did a response to them fighting us, destroying a whole lot of mines over the next couple of days. Even poor Jim and his daughters.
Your crying sucks.
Let's go to where no man's been before.
Mr. Miner, would you mind answering some of my questions? Here, you can take your break. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay. So what are the working conditions in here like?
What do you mean?
I don't get any sleep or anything. I'm just all day, all long, and it hurts like, oh my god, and
And how much do you get paid for it?
I got like 20 cents yesterday.
Oh, wow.
We're now discussing the accusations by the muckraking journalist Ida B. Tarbell against John D. Rockefeller.
Before we begin, Chief Justice Abby, I would just like to object to the term muckraking journalist. I am not a muckraking journalist. I'm a historian. I'm an investigative journalist. And John D. Rockefeller, it is because of me and my legacy that I will leave that will show future Americans why their country is like this. It's because of you.
Like what?
Because you and Standard Oil have screwed up the system.
Okay, can I make a little suggestion?
You can attempt to.
So instead of making a bold, abrupt, and simply incorrect claim, could you try to back it up with a little teensy bit of evidence at least?
A teensy bit of evidence? How about 19 articles worth of evidence? I wrote 19 articles about you and Standard Oil and how you have done nothing good for this country in McClure's magazine. 19 articles worth of evidence.
You did write those articles.
I did.
And I did read them.
Of course.
And guess what was inside them? Nothing. No fact at all. Just big words. Big words that you can think you can convince the American people with. You think everyone is a fool to submit to you. You, Ida B. Tarbell, are the real villain here.
I am the real villain?
Yes.
I am not the one paying people pennies. I'm not the one
I am the
putting
one
into
giving them
terrible-
money. Bringing them out of starvation and
I'm
homelessness.
sorry, because if
I'm
it
the
wasn't for you,
cure.
they would still be having their original businesses. You're the one buying out the town.
Before I came, they were nothing. They had nothing. I gave them
They
something
had
to
nothing.
live
They
for.
had tons of independent oil refineries, which they lived by and supported their families by. And now, because of you, they're supposed to live on pennies.
Are you, Ida, making the claim
Miss Tarbell?
that every single...
No, I'm Miss Tarbell.
That the 100,000 miners that I have...
Call me Miss Tarbell,
Each
John D. Rockefeller.
had their own oil company. Are you making that claim, Miss Tarbell?
I am not saying that each one of them had their own oil company, but I am saying that there are many people, like my father, who own their own independent oil refineries, and it is because of you and your company.
Anecdotological fallacy.
It is because of you and your company that my father was put out of business. And he's not the only one. There's millions of Americans
Can I
like
ask
him.
you one question?
You can try.
Does your father have a job?
He does, but he was put out of business.
So
doesn't work in
has
oil.
a job. It
He
doesn't matter
work
if he doesn't work in oil.
anymore, and
He
you
is
don't
fine.
help him.
You, by saying that he was put out of job, it doesn't matter because he
He got
another
another job.
one.
He's retired
Do you know how
now.
many jobs I've created? Hundreds and thousands of jobs.
That doesn't make them good jobs. You can make millions of jobs, but that doesn't help your country.
Let me conclude
That
with
never
one
will help
thing.
your
With
country.
one thing, and it can all be over.
You can try.
When I came into the oil industry, there was chaos. I brought order. I took a second-rate, inefficient market and built an industry. It was done the way it was because that was the way it had to be done. No one complained when I brought light into every home. No one complained when I created thousands of jobs or millions of dollars from exports. Oil is what this company runs on. You call it monopoly, I call it enterprise. Now, you, Ida, Miss Tarbell, can you tell me this? Why am I here?
Why are you here? Because you cheated your way to the sea. And you know what? That was total crap.
The Supreme Court has decided that the Standard Oil Company of New Jersey must be dissolved.
Ой, надену платьице в белую горошину. Уходи, как все плохое, приходи, хорошее.
First, hear out John D. Rockefeller in his defense of the company. Stay out of my bag, Aiden! Are you John D. Rockefeller, the owner of Standard Oil?
'Tis me.
Okay, what else must I
I'm not Jamaican.
Okay, go.
Are you John D. Rockefeller, the owner of Standard Oil?
'Tis me.
Tell us your story.
Okay. I started this company.
I can't even. I can't do it.
See it.
Well,
Alright,
we are.
take two.
Yeah. It's now eating its food.
Muckraking journalist. I'm a historian. I'm an investigative journalist. I'm so fancy.
You know that you're just a fool.
Start.
Number 1, illegal.
It's not illegal. Church is
Number
free.
2.
There is
Number
no
1, illegal. Number 2, I totally forgot what I was going to say, but it was really good.
He's a great man.
I swear to God, it
He's
was a really
great
good.
man.
And number 3, shut your mouth.
18 pages of evidence
19 pages of turpitude.
of turpitude.
Yes.
Really? And you're the one saying that I use big language.
Yeah, that's what it says in your article. It's like turpitude, 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 all over the place. I'm like, you don't even know what that word means. Define turpitude right now.
Turpitude? You define turpitude.
I can define turpitude.
Then define it.
Turpitude is lots of chaos. So guess what? Knock your hat off.
One of them such and such unfortunate. No, unfortunate.
Unfortunalities.
To them, fighting us and destroying a whole lot of the biters, and my face is not lit up anymore. But
Yeah.
it's something with the ISO.
No, it's not. It's not. Look.
It is.
Just deal with it, okay?
Oh, I. Oh.
I just like, she was like.
We are now discussing the accusations made by the muckraking journalist Ivy Tarbell made against John D. Rockefeller.
Well, the first thing, Chief Justice Abby was, I really don't like the name muckraking journalist. I mean, I'm an investigative journalist. I am the very first investigative journalist.
Alright, let's totally watch